What's up? This is Ryan. Not made a video in a long time. Changed locations. As I am recording this now, it is August the 3rd. And that means either a bunch of my friends or a lot of the people I'm following online are on their way or at GenCon. It's a convention in Indianapolis that's going on right now, starting right now, about gaming, board gaming, card gaming, CCGs, LARPing, RPGs, all that stuff. I actually went to one back in 2007, but I have not been back there since, and I am not going this year because I am poor. And the reason I'm poor is because I've been buying too many games for myself. Though I will admit, I wanted to make this video, you know, for like the past couple months because this summer has been crazy with me getting games, and I usually don't get them at a full price, so I've gotten really good deals on almost all these games. Especially Barnes & Noble's clearance sales. They were 50% off for a few weeks. Now they're 75% off, but there's nothing left. So, at least my stores that I'm near. I'm lucky enough to be near two of them. And they've been pretty wiped out now. But I wanted to make this video. Like, the games I've gotten have gone back to maybe May, and this whole summer has just been me acquiring games. There's right there, it's a good chunk of my game collection that I've been accumulating over the past year. Actually, my collection really started about a year ago, maybe a little over, at another Barnes & Noble clearance sale back before I was on Board Game Geek or following anything online. I just walked in and hey, there's a whole bunch of these games that are like half off, and I bought like some copies of Munchkin and a couple other games, but I went out of the two stores with like a bunch of games, and I've just been going ever since. And since I'm not going to GenCon, this is like my official GenCant, the non-con, I guess, of people who can't go to GenCon. Not shall be playing all these games because, like I said, most of the people that I'm playing with these games are actually at GenCon. But I just want to get into the list. Got all these right here. First of all, I got this. This is Chin by Rainier Knizia. I got this on Groupon of all places. I was lucky enough to get a email coupon for it was a half off clearance, half off any clearance item. So like this was already on clearance, and then I got half off of that. I think I paid like $15 total for this, which was pretty cool. And it's set in China, feudal China, but it's basically like a tile laying game where you kind of capture areas and you build pagodas on them, and I don't know, I thought it was really cool. Hopefully I get to that. This was one of the only games I paid full price for. I had a doctor's appointment in Toledo, and right near the doctor's office was a friendly local game store by the name of Checkmate. And they had Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. I've been wanting this game, but it's been out of stock online. I think it's since come back into stock online, but I saw this and I'm like, I should get it. Paid full price, but for this game, full price is only $40. I really want to get this to the table. I think my friends would like it. It's like a social deduction game, which I normally suck at because I'm bad at lying, but I like the theme. I like you know, this type of theme. More so like the Asian cinema type theme. Basically, you got a grid of, oh my god, pardon. I'm just gonna read the back of the box. Yeah, you got like a grid of evidence, and one of you is the killer, and you have to convince everyone else that you're not. You're one of like the investigators, and basically you're trying to get people off of your trail. And I thought that was pretty cool. I don't normally kickstart a lot of games. If I do, they're pretty small games. But this was the biggest one I've kickstarted, and actually it was over a year ago when I funded it, and they wanted to get it out in time for Halloween. That didn't happen, but it finally came in June, and that's Mixtape Massacre. Honestly, after looking at the game, there's not a whole lot of game. Like, it's not a very heavy game. It's like roll and move and collect things, and there's some player elimination, but I bought it mostly for the theme. Plus, it was like right when I started getting into board games, and I'm like, hey, that looks cool. I'm gonna get it. And it does look cool. It looks really cool. The components are pretty cool. This is like your player board. It's a freaking knife, and you that's your life meter. You have basically the point of the game is it's like you're in the 80s. You play as a horror movie villain, and most of these are based on like actual horror movie villains. Like there's a Chucky knockoff. There's a Carrie knockoff, a Jason knockoff, obviously because he's on the cover of everything. He's like the mascot. And basically you're like collecting body parts, I guess, and the first 1 to 10 wins, and you can fight each other over them. You're killing people, but one of them's like a superpowered survivor. This honestly, this game's probably more style than substance, but I like it. Plus, it has pentagram dice. I don't know if you can see that. So, custom dice with pentagrams on them. I thought that was pretty cool. This is a game that's right up my alley. On theme alone, it's 80s, 80 references galore. There's stuff from like RoboCop, and there's like a Macho Man card in here, and a Doc Brown card, stuff on like Top Gun, a bunch of stuff. And that brings me to June. There was a miniature market sale. There's miniaturemarket.com, and they have sales every once in a while, and I was hesitant. I'm like, I really shouldn't spend the money, and I'm like, alright, they put up the list. I'm like, there's a few things I want, I'll wait, and if there's anything left that I want later on, I'll go ahead and place an order. And luckily, a lot of the stuff I did want didn't go out of stock right away. I think the only thing that I really wanted was Elder Sign, and that went out of stock pretty quick, but the rest of the stuff didn't. Smallest one I got is a game called Resistor. It's a 2-player game, and basically you're laying out cards in the form of like a mainframe, like wires trying to connect to each other, and basically I guess it's like a game of I won't say war, but you're trying to connect to the other side, to the other player's side. And the coolest thing I thought isn't even about the game, but how you can put it together. Like, you open up the box, and you can close the box, and there's a slot on top, and the cards go in the top, like that, and you just draw them like that. I don't know why I thought that was so cool. Yeah. That's a pretty stupid reason to like a game, but when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. I bought More Cash and More Guns, the expansion to the first expansion to Cash and Guns. They're releasing another one at GenCon. Like it says, has more cash and more guns in it. I originally wasn't going to get Cash and Guns in the first place, but I went to a Books A Million near me, and they were selling them for $30. And I'm like, my friend has it. I try not to buy games my friends have, but I couldn't pass that up. And then this was on sale. I'm like, oh, I'll add to it. You know, and so I did that. Ladies and Gentlemen is a game I saw on Shut Up and Sit Down. Basically, I don't even know, like, how to describe it. Basically, you're in teams of two, and one's a lady and one's a gentleman, and the gentlemen go to make money in the stock market, and then the ladies go and spend the money on dresses and stuff. And you could say, a part of you could say, like, this game is horribly sexist, and a part of you would be right. But I don't know. I thought that was funny, but then I started looking at the game, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever get to play this. This looks, you know, it looked like theme-wise, it looks like it would, you know, my friends would be into it. Some of my friends would be into it, but it might be too complicated. I was sitting there, I'm just like, this is, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. What I am sure about was the final game I bought was Letters from Whitechapel, a game where you're Jack the Ripper, and it's a hidden movement game, so you're trying to run away from all the cops. Actually, when I put this order in, there's kind of a story behind it. There's a game that's coming out of GenCon I really want, and it's called Last Friday. And a lot like Mixtape Massacre, the theme is you're a slasher, but you're at summer camp. So it's basically the board game version of Friday the 13th, and you're Jason, and the other players are campers, and you're going around killing them. And the makers were like, hey, we have so many copies up for pre-order, you know, and I'm like, okay, I should make an order. And then the sale announcement came, and it was a day later when the sale started, and I'm like, alright, if I hold off, I'll make a small order, sale order, put a pre-order on there, and then I'll get the game when it comes out. But all the pre-order copies sold out before the sale started. And I kind of wanted a hidden movement game. I've been looking at Spectre Ops for a while. I really want Last Friday. I'm still probably going to get it eventually. But then I saw Letters for Whitechapel was half price. So it was like $30. And I'm like, I might as well go for it. People have been, you know, say this game's pretty good. I'll go for it. My only disappointment was the box came damaged. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll get closer. This is like the bottom corner. Like stick my finger through there. I probably shouldn't because I'll just make the hole wider, but I don't know. That was kind of disappointing, but not major. It's on the edge of the box. I can hide it. That was my miniature market order. Here's where the Barnes & Noble sale starts. I went to the one closest to me, and they were the only ones that had this on sale. A lot of the other stores had it, but they didn't have it on sale, and that was Lanterns, the Harvest Festival. This is where, like, all these games from this point on are half price. So I got this for half price, but the other stores weren't selling it for half price. They're selling it for full price. This looks like a pretty mellow game. I like the theme. I like, you know, most Asian stuff. Like Chin and Deception so far. But I like, you know, it looks pretty mellow. I think some of my friends would like it. It's pretty simple. Then I went to another store that was closer in Toledo, and I got Rumble in the Dungeon. It's a really small, I guess, dungeon crawl. Apparently really, really simple. Like it says, like the game says like 8+. So little kids can play this too. I don't know. it was there and it was cheap. And I also got Mars Attacks 10-minute Takedown, which was also there and also even cheaper. they had a lot of games there at this particular one, but I passed on a lot of them. Some of them I already had. One of them was Mars Attacks, the dice game. This is another Mars Attacks game involving dice, but you flick them instead of roll them. So, and I think this ended up, yeah. It's $10. Half off was $5, so. But then I made a second trip to the same store where I got Lanterns and got Pandemic the Cure. And this is the dice version of Pandemic, and it looks pretty cool. All the dice are custom, or not, they're custom made for the game and everything. And I think it would be simpler to get to the table than actual Pandemic. You know, sometimes you gotta be in the mood for it. This one you can just, you know, play right away. And then I made a second trip out. This was around my birthday. I went back to Toledo, hung out with my friends for my birthday, and I went back to, first of all, before I went to Barnes & Noble, I went to Target. And Target has some games on clearance. They were clearing out room. I guess you guys have heard by now about all the new games that are coming out at Target. Like there's a new Ticket to Ride, like Junior Edition. There's like a Codenames adult version. There's the Oregon Trail card game that people have or have not been getting. But up to then they were clearancing a whole bunch of games. I got Pyraminx is a puzzle game. It's like a 3D pyramid made out of dice or cubes, but they're like custom Egyptian type theme. I don't know. It only ended up being like $10. I thought it looked pretty cool. And then I got Mecha Koro for about like 15. People saying this is like too simple, too easy. I don't know. I want to try it out. I think it'll be fun. It's a city building game. The room for expansions. I think there's like 2 or 3 expansions. The new Mecha Koro at Target is, I think, it's like it's like a reskin. It has the base game. It has some cards from the expansions. There's plenty of room for expansions in here. I know people have been complaining about, oh, there's, hardly any game in here. You got the big box and you just basically got a deck of cards and some dice and some things. And normally that doesn't bug me. But my next game, it bugs me a lot. It's the same makers, or the same publishers of Mecha Koro, and it's Dinah Monsters. This wasn't at Target, this was back at Barnes & Noble again. It's a trick-taking game with some monsters in it from the designer and artist of Mecha Koro, but I just wanted to show you, like, look how big the box is. Seriously, all you get is like a deck of cards and some cubes. Pull this open. Like, right there. That's the game. You could have just put a box that size and put it on shelves. That bugs me. Because I could, put a smaller box in it. Save some room. Mecha Koro doesn't, as much, especially since there's expansions that can go right in. Probably my biggest find, and I'm not sure I was supposed to get this at this price, was Dead of Winter. When I went to Barnes & Noble, there was one copy, and like the biggest games they had on the table was this. They had XCOM, and they had Golem Arcana, and there's a copy of Zombicide there too. And I'm like, at first I've heard mixed things. Either people really love this game or really don't like this game. And I'm like, oh, if I can see it on sale, I'll get it. And, this was probably the best time to get this. But when I took it to the counter, it wasn't ringing up half off. It had the clearance sticker on it, but it wasn't ringing up. And on the Board Game Geek threads, I don't think it was listed at all. So, but luckily the clerk was just like, okay, whatever, rang it up half off, and now I've done a winner, and that's pretty cool. And my last game I didn't even pay for, I got for free. This is my birthday present from some of my friends. They chipped in and got me Concept, which I'm really, I really think this game with my friends will go over pretty well. In July, there was another miniature market game sale, but I was like, I don't have enough money to pay for it. This was like the only game I wanted from it too. And I put something on Facebook. I'm like, hey, if you want to be cool, get this for my birthday. And they did, but they didn't get it from Miniature Market. They got it from another local store. But I'm glad they got it for me. I think it'll go over well, not just with my friends, but with other circles of friends I'm part of. It's basically charades, but instead of acting stuff out, you put pawns on pictures, where it's like, okay, this thing is a person and it's this color, or it does this, and there's a whole, like a big mat of pictures, and it's like, okay, this is an animal. Like on the back of the box, it's like, if you want to get them to guess a bee, it's like, okay, it's an animal, it's yellow, it's black, it flies, stuff like that. And you can't say any words, so you just have to put markers on the pictures. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my games. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games that I got this summer. I actually have more coming on the way. I have Secret Hitler should be coming any minute, or any day. The makers said they was shipping at GenCon, at or around GenCon. They would have copies at GenCon. I'm getting mine shipped, so I would imagine within the week or so I'd have Secret Hitler. Crimson Creek is another game. I think they're getting ready to ship soon. They had to fix some things, but that's coming. And those are from Kickstarter. If I kickstart anything else, I'll get the Hostage Negotiator expansion that just came out, or that just got released. It's basically an expansion and a bigger box to put everything else in, which I actually have almost all of the Hostage Negotiator stuff. So that'll be cool. And yeah, I think that's it. It's a lot of games, and now I have to go organize my shelf because it's a mess, and I need to organize stuff. Maybe get rid of a few things just to make some room. So maybe I will see you guys later.